Welcome to this week's Coach's Corner feature. We're going to start this week's Coach's Corner with Kristin Smith Bohan, our high-stepping coach, as the high-steppers had senior night as well as everybody else last Friday in the final home game of the high school football season. A lot of things going on coming up with basketball and wrestling seasons as well. But Coach, we talked about the football players and all the people that get introduced. But there are a group of young ladies that are very special to you that got introduced as well, your senior high steppers.
Yeah, senior night senior night is always hard for me because it's hard to start to say goodbye to your seniors that early in the year, but I mean that's the reality of it, is what you're doing. And I have 4 girls. I have 7 seniors total, but I have 4 girls this year who are the very first girls who were allowed to try out as 8th graders and were on the team as freshmen. And so they're the first set of girls who have been with me for 4 whole years. It was Alyssa Tapp, Serena Cheney, Ashlyn Anderson, and Leslie Wilson. And all 4 of those girls are so talented and have brought so much to my team. And that was rougher for me than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
So, Julia Hyatt, Courtney Gwynn, and Mackenzie Gales are my other 3 seniors, and they're all 3-year members and very special to me as well. But, just that first class that went 4 years with me is that's going to be a big hole to fill.
Those kids you probably see as much, if not more, than your own kids too.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I love my girls, definitely. A lot of times I think I do see them more than my own kids. We're in the gym a lot, and it takes a lot of time. But it's great to be able to form relationships with those kids, and I'm really close with a lot of those girls.
They're lifelong friends, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I still keep in touch with your daughter.
Well, you go from Coach Smith to somebody that they lean on, and sometimes you lean on them too.
Yeah,
so,
that is very true.
So with 7 girls leaving after this year, which is still a long way away, that's a good number, isn't it? That's not too many, not too few.
Right, exactly. It is a good number because the year before I had 18 seniors. That's over half my team, and that is really, really hard to replace. And so this year we're a pretty young, inexperienced team, but I think they did well. There's some things in dances I'd like to have back over these home games, but overall I thought they looked pretty good.
I don't know how, in particular, your girls do it. For me it just seems more difficult because they're high steppers, and I know a lot of them play sports. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are involved in other extracurricular activities around the school. So for them to dedicate the time to your program, to make their grades, and to still be able to play volleyball and basketball and all the other sports, it's quite an accomplishment when they get done after their senior year. You look back and say, how did they do it?
Yeah, I agree. I would probably say easily the majority of my girls are involved in something else. I have girls on my team involved in every female sport that's available at the high school. I have girls who play volleyball. I have girls who play softball. I have girls who play girls basketball, who run track, who play soccer. Anything that's available for girls athletic team-wise, my girls are involved in that, and that only helps me. It really does, because it keeps them in shape, it keeps their flexibility up, it keeps their stamina up. So it really is extremely helpful, but it is hard. It's hard to juggle that time.
There's a reason why you practice before school too, is because so many of them have after school obligations. So like the cheer squads, the high steppers, you all have to get your work done early in the morning.
Exactly. We have been coming in at 6:30 for the majority of the year this year, and we practice from 6:30 then all the way through first hour. And they only get probably about 10-15 minutes to get ready for class, and then they're in second hour the rest of the day and involved. So
after the ball game Friday night, my family and we were back home, and I was dissecting the football game out. And my daughters and my wife were dissecting out the high-stepping halftime performance. And they were talking about the fact that it was a little different. And I'm going to let you explain it, because they were trying to explain to me that normally you lead up to a high kick, whereas you started it with a high kick the other night. And again, you have more expertise, obviously, but wasn't a little bit different than we normally see.
Yeah, it is, and every dance we do is different. I choreograph everything for them in football, and I've had people say, well, don't you guys do the same thing every year? No, we don't. But there's some traditional things that I always like our one big straight line bow. I mean, that's kind of my signature. If you see my girls do that, then that's my signature on the dance. I've choreographed it. But yeah, this week's dance was different in the sense that we started in these pods, and I highlighted my senior 4-year members first, but that was with technical elements, which that is the first time in all my years as a coach I have ever choreographed technical elements into a high kick on the field, simply because we're in boots, and it's hard to do those type of things in boots, but I thought it'd be a good way to highlight my seniors. And then so that's what we did, and then we had a toe touch at the back, which is difficult in boots. But then, yes, we went straight into, normally we have kind of some military arms or something like that to kind of work our way in, but then we went straight from technical to right into the kicks, and I think it worked pretty well. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I always tell my girls, when music speaks to me, my choreography is a lot better. And, that was Journey's Separate Ways. I mean, gosh, can't get much better than that. I love that song. So that was, I don't know, I thought some of my better choreography.
Absolutely. Well, I'm an old disc jockey, and so when Journey's Separate Ways came on, it's like, that brings back lots of great memories from the 80s for me as well as for you, and I'm sure a lot of people that enjoyed that. In fact, the music is a big part of it, and a lot of times you go back to the old 70s and 80s rock and roll to find your music, too.
I do. A lot of times I use classic rock all the time. And, when you're choreographing, you always chart music first. And so I'm always listening to, okay, that part sounds like kicks, that part sounds like technique, that part sounds like contagions. And Separate Ways was just one of those that just fell into place for me really, really easily. It was obvious at the beginning that was so big and so bold with those counts was technique, all technical elements. And then that song is such a driving beat that's what drove me going straight into kicks and basically kicking the rest of the time, and then trying to tie it back together with technical elements at the end that highlighted all my seniors.
That's why you guys are superstars, because of stuff like that. Now, I had the experience of walking out with my daughter for senior night for the Po-HiSteppers, and that's another part of it. You have great parents. They are very dedicated. They are fundraisers. They are, people that you lean on. They lean on you. But the parents are a big part of your group and organization.
They really are. And, their role for me is definitely fundraising and, basically having everything ready when I need it. If I need, X amount of money for new palms, that fundraising is done and that money is there, and organizing events for the girls, like our Christmas party and things like that. And they do a fantastic job. Sherry McGlone has been my president for a couple of years now, and I hope that she'll be my president again next year if her daughter makes it again. And she does an amazing job. My executive board does a great job. And pretty much I can just say this is what I need, and I know they've got it taken care of. And all the parents are there to help. And I always try and tell them thank you, because they give their daughter to me for a heck of a lot of time. And I appreciate
a lot of times for 3 or 4 years.
Yes,
absolutely.
Exactly.
The football season will not have any more home games, so what do you do now until we get ready for basketball season?
Well, right now we are, I know that people were upset about only 4 home games, and we were too, because we would have liked to have had another performance. But on the flip side of that, it really is kind of good for us in that we get to start on national stuff a lot earlier than what we normally do. We normally can't start on it till after football season over, which is a couple of more weeks away. So we were in the gym this morning learning our nationals military choreography. We'll also get going on our kick and our hoop. I've got to choreograph our hoop first, but as soon as I do that, we'll start working on that nationals hoop. So we get a little jump start on working for nationals, and also jump start on working for basketball. Then we also have panic. So we put Panic in there and start working on those routines. So.
That's in November, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving break.
Well, here's the good news: you get 6 home games next year, so you'll have to do an extra one next year. So
I know that's the thing. I don't know from a choreographer
Right.
standpoint if I like the 6 home game thing. I know that the crowd does, and my
Right.
girls are excited. But it's gonna make me come up with another song and another dance. But that's
a
okay.
lot of work. We do.
We'll get it.
You do mini steppers for football, or are we doing that for
We'll-
basketball?
We'll do it in basketball. It's in
Okay.
February, so it's coming up. So be on the lookout for that. I know that we always have girls interested in doing that. So yeah, that'll come up in February.
Well, you guys look great the other night.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are on the radio, and I always did it when Tatum was a high stepper.
Yeah.
I'd make sure I took my break, but when I heard the Journey song the other night, I took a break because I wanted to see what you guys were going to do with that. And magnificent.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you very much.
Kristin Smith, our high stepper coach on Coach's Corner.